on the network. That's one thing we developed at that point in my innovation group and put out as a product, which of course is a product that rings in today even almost $1 billion worldwide. Not the product we did at Siemens, but annually together. Not so much in Western Europe, by the way. It's pretty much an uncommon thing here, but if you look for Korea, interestingly sponsored that. Did you know how they do that? Well, this whole thing was invented in Korea. So you call someone, you listen to some music. It was called Coloring by South Korean Telecom, SK Coloring. And the government officials saw that and said, well, we have to do something here. You know, you don't know if you're calling someone or if you're listening to a tape or what. So they had to put a little piece in front of it saying, you're listening to a new type of ringtone here, which is called SK Coloring. Come to our website and book it. And they officially had to put that in. Guess what happened on their website some of the next days when they started putting it? They didn't even have to advertise that because government mandated to have a disclaimer in front of an in-net ringtone. By the way, this is a total monopoly because you cannot book the ringtone from anyone else than your mobile operator or telephony operator. I did a talk some months ago in Sydney together with a guy called Dwayne Barron. He's from the Interactive Television Research Institute. And he talked a lot about the next generation of home entertainment, which obviously is one of the areas where much of this innovation drive is going in telecommunications at the moment. And I'm borrowing some of these slides from him also. If we look at the history of television, about 50 years ago, or in the 50s, in the United States, we had several big problems there in the back here of that chart. One of them was the upcoming of the remote control. You know remote controls, right? That enabled channel switching. By the way, very often in innovation, we use scenario techniques. You know how the future may look like? Yeah, have you ever done scenario techniques? What is the most used scenario very often for Western Europe? Aging society. You heard about that buzzword, right? The problem is we get stupid results from many of these scenario techniques. I do that with a lot of companies now for a living, and we get very bad results very often when people don't know how scenario techniques are really used, because they always get the same idea. Oh, television, you know, important field, aging society. You know what comes out of that? It's always the same product. I brought it here for you. I don't know that someone was so stupid to really make it. This is a remote control you can buy now, which is made for old people. We have gone, it actually works.
This is only a scale model, I suppose.
No, yeah, it's downscale. We have seen that in telephony, by the way, too. People said, oh yeah, we need a phone for old people. No, because old people don't want to be treated as old people. They want to be seen. Do you want this thing lying on? Because you don't know what you're doing. Anyway, so with the upcoming of this, of the remote control in the 1950s, they started doing distribution deals with Hollywood. The whole National Association of Broadcasters was formed. The whole business model of the 30-second television spot was created at the point when the remote control as an innovation entered the television market. What happened in 1985, when the video recorder mainly was a big innovation hitting the market? Absolute denial. You know what they did? They didn't change the business model, but they went to court. Yeah, the video recorder was in front of court in almost every Western country. Sony, being the introducer, had to fight severe legal battles by the broadcaster saying, no, you can't do this. You're simply not allowed to record that. And we'll be entering a phase like that quite soon too. Now, one of the big products in that industry is IPTV, and Manfred will talk about that a lot more because he knows a lot more than about that product than me. It's usually a product that integrates things like video on demand, TV broadcasting, an electronic program guide, a personal video recorder, and some gaming messaging functionalities. In our case, we also put video telephony into that. And for about 3 years, I was the head of that product line when it was still called an innovation. We introduced that into several countries. One was Belgacom. That was the first country we did. And you know, probably being in the Netherlands here, a product called MindTV. That's also a Siemens product, which I had the honor to introduce into that market and to build the technology about. So that's a product offered today by KPN. That's their way out of the disaster you have been looking at earlier. And you get video on demand on that thing. You get, stuff like Ajax Amsterdam TV is possible now. As many television channels as you like. There's no physical limit anymore to that, which changes the game a little bit. Television will look a little bit more like the magazine market, probably, with more specialized offerings for off-road, for cooking, for whatever you like, yachting, fishing, and probably that's a trend that cannot be stopped easily. If you look around the world map, what we did there, several contracted customers. Now, these two kids may be on Mind TV, maybe in this country. They may be in front of their remote control watching TV. And we are, by that product, changing the business model. How do we do that? Well, if they go up there on the menu, and that's the actual menu we use in Belgium and the Netherlands, they have digital TV. So that's the business model of free TV. It's financed by advertising mostly, right? Now if you go one down, you have a PVR functionality built in. A personal video recorder usually enables you to start the movie later, about 30 minutes delayed, and then watch it without advertising. You just fast forward on the push of the button through the advertising. Which, by the way, is a little bit of a twist to an industry worth about $100 billion annually. And we see that with the TiVo model in the United States. We see that with many models that the amount of advertising avoidance raises rapidly with the introduction of PVRs. Now, we also automate that process. So we have done prototypes. I know you guys don't use them yet, in which we have automated cutout of advertising, which is very possible, and by the way, legal. We have fought some of these law battles in front of the court, which basically comes out to something like, hey, you can watch the same movie, either on a PVR with automatic advertising delay or cut out 99 cents. Even if it is not legal, you can go to the same movie in your video on demand library, which is on television today, and there it is without advertising anyway. Because video on demand is an integrated business model in that thing too. So who of you would like to have a movie tonight starting about 30 minutes late, but ending at exactly the same time as it is on free TV, on RTL, and pay 99 cents for that? For watching it, you can come home late, half an hour later, 45 minutes later, watch it without advertising, and at the very same moment. Anyone interested? 99 cents. Who would pay for that? Show me your hands. 1, 2, 3, 4, 99 cents, 5. So I just made 5, 6 euros. That's pretty good. That's about 30% of the people in here. And you're advertising lovers. Usually people are more on that side if you do market research. Who would want the same movie as a VOD movie, basically starting at the same time, but getting you to go to bed earlier? Is that a good model? Who likes that? $1.99. Yes, sir. Thank you. I made another $4 in the room. 4 euros. So basically, this is possible once you introduce IPTV, which changes a little bit television. Let me give you some evidence on that stuff. Personal video recorders now have a little bit more than 25% of the US American households. So they're the typical product, replacing standard video recorder. Who has a digital video recorder of yours? Okay, you guys have that. Do you use that for skipping advertising?
Absolutely.
Yes? Do you use that for skipping advertising?
Yes.
You use that for skipping advertising?
Yeah.
Perfect. When you ask people if you like that, by the way, do you like the product? Would you buy it again?
Yeah, sure.
Would you buy it again?
Yeah.
Would you buy it again? That's an unusual thing to hear about a new product, by the way. Usually innovations don't go that way. Would you recommend it to others?
Absolutely.
You hear people saying, I can't imagine life without. That's from a focus group, from 20 people. It rocks. I wish this was around when I was growing up. They say about a piece of equipment, right? Makes watching TV something to look forward to. Hate commercials, love my TiVo, best feature ever, best purchase ever made, best gift I've ever received, greatest thing since sliced bread, best thing invented the last 20 years, greatest invention is television, greatest invention is the automobile. Okay, these are Americans, but still, they seem to like the product. Would you agree?
Oh, I'm Swedish.
Oh, yeah. Where do you work at Stanford? Now, once you look into the distribution of what they do, they watch a lot more time shift once you have that product in your household than even what